Hi, WFMers out there. I'm your host, Irina Mateva, and this is WFM Unfiltered, a podcast by Right WFM, the place where we share the truth about workforce management. So get comfortable and listen closely. Happy Tuesday. Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Irina, and welcome to WFM Unfiltered. Today, we're traveling all the way to Panama, and I'm speaking to an amazing young leader that honestly I feel so passionate about her journey. And I really would like you to meet Arlyne. So, Arlyne, welcome to the show. How have you been?
Hey everyone, thank you for having me here. My name is Arlene. I'm based in Panama. I have been working on Dash for 8 years.
Oh,
So it has been a long journey. Actually, this is my first job. A-
okay.
And in a sort of way, I ended here in workforce. So it has been tremendous, like ups and downs, but more ups than downs. So
But, and
I'm very passionate about having others to learn, like to grow, to see them moving over to other roles. Like I really like that. I think I'm not the usual managers. Not sure if that's related to my age, but I think that sometimes I don't fit the mold, honestly. But I don't care, honestly. Like, um, if my team is okay, like I'm okay with that.
can I just, before we go into a little bit more details, what the Dash is, to give us a little bit more information on the company and to start from your journey, which was your first job? Did you start directly into WFM or you
Well,
an agent before? I want to make one introduction here that you and I first spoke. I believe it was probably last year when you reach out to organize something for your team members that I was in a state of shock because it's so rare that leaders are proactively looking for sources and information to kind of empower their team leads, but to also give them that boost that, okay, if you want to have a career, you can have a career. And I was so impressed of you and so proud of you that we might skip mentioning your age. I'm just going to say that you're brilliant and you're so mature about your age that for me, it obviously feels like you're a born leader. And I've always said a leader doesn't come with age. Of course, we learn along the way, but you don't have to be 75 years old to become a leader or to say that you're one. So I'm just so proud of your Lens.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So, nope, I actually started here at Dash when I was 19. So you can do the math. I don't mind. I started as an agent, technical support agent, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot at that time. I was not looking for a career in the contact center, like, but I got the job. So I started like having the conversations with the clients. I like to help others. Yes, sometimes you can have like very frustrated customers, but you need to understand that they are mad with because they don't have a service or something. It's not with you. So it's like a type of change of mind that you have to do when you start at a position as an agent, and also like trying to have empathy with the client, right? So after I started as an agent, I had the opportunity to be leader as well. So to lead the team. After that, moving over to a position that was in a sort of way like a tier two. So we collect a lot of report from a specific area, and then we send over the technicians to fix the problem because it was a major issue, right? And I had the opportunity to jump into workforce, like I saw like the job vacancy for real time analyst. And I always saw this because like they were in a high stage and the contact center. So I call them like the Olympus guy.
Oh, I think. Okay.
And I say like, oh, I want to become part of that team. And then I apply. Well, I was chosen, and I started as a real time analyst. Unfortunately, the person that was mentoring me, like the first day that I was supposed to go on solo,
Okay.
she didn't show up, and she was bringing like her resignation letter. So I was alone, and well, it felt scary, honestly, but sometimes you have to fake it until you make it.
Yeah, and that's how you learn. To be honest, when you're thrown the deep, you either swim or you drown. So,
Exactly. So, but we have the client in house. So the client saw me, and it was like he smelled like fresh meat. And he go over the stage and asked me about service levels, and I was like feeling very empowerment. Like, yes, Mister. The service level is looking at da. We have absenteeism here, but we collected over time. Like, I fake it until I make it. Like, and then he go out, and I was like, ooh, now I can breathe.
honestly, this is such an amazing story because I remember the first times when I was asked these questions, I was drawing blank. Like people were asking me, service level, where's the service level like that? And I was like, I don't even know what the heck's a bit. So, do you want broken? So being quick on your feet is also very, very good in real time. So proud of you once again.
Thank you. Well, then we have other opportunities. COVID hit.
Yeah.
So before COVID hit, I got the chance to move. I was in a Spanish account. So I had the chance to move over to an English account. Like my coordinator back on those days would say like, apply, you're good, you speak English, go there, you know how to use Excel. And then I decided to apply. I was a little bit scared, honestly, because I'm here in Panama. Panama usually everybody speaks Spanish, so like making that change over to English, I was like, oh my god, this is happening. So I got the position. We started with this new account, U.S. account. We started with a small group of agents of 17 agents something around March. And then by the 8th of March, COVID was a reality.
Mhm.
So we started to hiring a lot of people. Actually, we had like almost like 200 agents during COVID. And it was crazy because a lot of business were closed, and we have to create like batch for the agents. Like we had like a sort of DIY machine for the badges because the business that provided us with the badges was closed. So we have our creativity. I feel that like the one of the gasoline for you to become a creative person is necessity. Like
Tip
you,
of the day.
you need to figure out how to resolve things, so you have to do it. So it was an amazing time. Also, like here at Dash, we got like transportation. We were wearing like protection. They created like these cubicles for us. Like it was a lot. Like they were really involved. In terms of workforce, it was crazy. Like I was the first RTA for that US account, and it was the time that we had like almost 500 calls in queue.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. So walk me through the journey from COVID to now being completely out of COVID. What changed in operations? How did you kind of brought those lessons from COVID to now being normal as usual as it was before that?
Yes, after COVID, like the business started to open to be more regular. A lot of clients prefer now to be on chat, honestly, rather than calling. Maybe it's due to that because during COVID there was like a lot of waiting. Also, with all of these AI and automatizations, like they can call and get a ticket without speaking to a representative. So, on terms of efficiency, like for the business, that has been a pro. On terms of the agents, I feel that they are more relaxed because, like, I have to work, having a lot of calls back to back. It was a lot of stress from the workforce perspective, like trying to keep things normal, and they were not normal. So some
Mhm.
days you can be hitting service level, the next day it was not like that. So now it's like we go back to the basis, but I think we have a more open mind on terms of like when people are reporting that they are sick or something, like we try to get things turned around, like getting overtime, like having supervisors, like it's not like the end of the world. I feel that workforce has become more resilient due to that. Like they have more creativity as well because like the worst already happened. So I think we are prepared for anything.
You know what I'm hearing from you, and I actually love it because traditionally we think about WFM is maybe just connecting the dots and doing things in a sequential way. I'm looking at my forecast and I'm doing that, and then I'm scheduling my people, and then I'm checking what my people are doing, and then I'm doing that. And it's like a loop. But when you're giving me your examples, it just highlights how resourceful you should be to be able to navigate through situations that honestly we never thought it's going to occur. Like if you have asked me a couple of years ago, nobody's going to be allowed to go to the office to travel, I would honestly think that you're going crazy because I couldn't even imagine this being a reality on this earth. And when I'm hearing you speak, like, you know what, we had such a limited amount of time, we didn't know what's going on. It was the stress, it was the panic, customers stressing, businesses closing, health wise, everyone is panicking. You have to be so also resilient to be able to handle everything and to maintain operations that I think people outside of WFM not always pay attention to the qualities and what we're bringing into the business. So thank you so much for being able to articulate that side of our journey and that it's not some boring process of A plus B plus C equals the whole alphabet and so on.
I think that was the old workforce. Like it has evolved, and I think at some point I will be that senior person that will hear new voices, like people younger than me bringing something fresh, something new, and it's something that you should embrace because when I started, like the person that was mentoring me, she mentioned something like, "Okay, I already explained you everything. You see
Yes.
those three empty seats? Now those are your chances or your opportunities to ask if you have a question." And I was like, but culture has changed a lot. Like culture has changed a lot. And for instance, that's not my WFM anymore. Like, whenever we have someone new and need help, they are here to jump in, to assist, to explain. They can make some jokes like, I already explained you that. Like, this is the thousand time that
Mm-hmm.
I've explained you how to do a VLOOKUP, for example. But they do it again, like with the jokes and everything, but they are willing to help, to assist others. And I really like that, like that type of environment that we have created. And WFM sometimes is being seen like the geek guys, the nerds, the ones that handle all the data, but don't even know how to maintain a conversation. And that's sad.
It is. It is very sad.
That's sad because and usually there is like a sort of rivalry because with operations and WFM, like there are cats and dogs. We are not in a soccer field. We are playing for the same company and we don't have that anymore. Like it's so amazing how we are supporting each other. Like it's a different culture, a different mindset. Like also here at Dash, we have an NPS on workforce.
Oh,
Yes,
tell me more.
yeah, we have like a monthly score evaluation. I'm sorry, and the supervisors, the managers, coordinators, they have the opportunity to evaluate how satisfied they are with the direction with workforce. All workforce have that until their performance is structured. So it is something very nice. At this point, there has been some months where we have um, promoters, but usually we are on the neutrals. So it's not that bad, but at least
And
we don't have detractors. Like
first
it's
of all, it's amazing that you have that in the company. And in my experience, every single time when I have done those kind of evaluations, you have the people that are rather vocal and would like to complain, and then the workforce team are getting very offended because their efforts are not seen. So actually, to have neutrals or promoters, but even the neutrals, it's such a positive thing because trust me, if people are to complain, they complain. That mean they're not silent. So this is amazing achievement already, actually.
yes, that sometimes there are complaints. I'm not gonna say that no, but also there are suggestions, and I like that because they find a way to speak to us. And now, like you hear the analysts speaking about the survey, and they say like, "Hey, you need to respond to that email. That will affect our our NPS." And you don't usually see that on that type of role. Like usually you see that just for an agent level. But I think customer experience is everywhere. Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I really like and appreciate about you is that desire to create and to explore new areas and new ways of doing WFM or new ways to lead your WFM team. And actually, while I was listening to your journey, I wanted to ask you two things because of our previous conversation, I mentioned to you that I also became a manager at 25, which, considering the age of the other managers around me, were considered a little bit more young. So I was often getting the looking down on what does she know about managing a team. And it was very difficult for me because I didn't have that much experience, right, to navigate through those relationships. And I was often entering into conversations with someone who, just age wise, was much older than me. And they were like, "Oh, I know things much better than you just because of my age." Not necessarily for how long I've been doing that or what's my experience, tips and tricks. Just I'm older, so I need to know better. And you mentioned something about being open to new voices that really made my ears perk. So, why do we have to be open to new voices if we assume that they haven't been through as much challenges as the rest of us have been?
well, I think sometimes you have like a different perspective. And also I had the opportunity to become manager very young. You can do the math as I say. But also I have like the bless to have like older people, like senior people support in that way. Like here, even though we're a company that has operations in Panama and South Africa, like the CEO and the COO of the company can talk to you. Like it's amazing. Like the COO of this company has recommended a lot of books. So when I started as a manager, like some of those books were about that, about emotional intelligence, about like how to become I think it was called Lynchpin. It was amazing. That's a great book. And also the way they approach it was as advisors rather
Mhm.
than this is how I have been doing this for 20 or whatever years. That's usually like something I hear a lot, but not from my mentors. And I like that. So I think I always try to take the positive things from every single situation, and it's hard to be positive like all the time. But um, if my mentors that were older than me, like almost double age, uh, are willing to hear me, right? Why I'm not gonna be open to hear other people that is coming along the way. Probably will know more about all of this, or will be growing with all of this AI and all this amazing like technology is changing quickly, like compared to previous year. Like it takes like 3 to 5 years to get a new phone. Like now, like every single year, there is a new phone coming up. So I think I'm gonna be open for hearing others, and not necessarily like I have to wait 5 years to hear others. Maybe there's people within my team that has seen things in another way that are doing the role at this time, and they have ideas to make it better. Because I honestly hate that phrase when you ask, oh, why you're doing things like that? And the response is like, we always have done it like
Yep.
that. And it's
Well,
like, oh my God, I can't.
I've always said it. I'm getting the absolute exact allergic reaction. I'm starting to choke. I notice that my blood pressure goes up because I'm getting so frustrated. But I also understand that it's part of being comfortable because this is what you has been handled for you. So if you go wrong with this, well, I've been thought the wrong way. So I it's not my fault for not discovering a better way. But you know what? I'm very curious from your journey because I'm honestly such a fan, and I'm so happy now. I'm a fan of Dash as well for being able to foster such a healthy environment where people can grow in their career, people can grow even as people, as humans, just because of seeing those positive examples. And the other thing that's very painful for me is looking at people in WFM in planning that are brilliant. They have the knowledge, they have the skills, but they're looked down on because they've only been doing that for 7 years or 8 years, and they need to be a certain age or they need to have done that a certain number of years before being promoted to um, workforce manager or planning manager. Or sometimes it's a matter of budget, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's matter of conservative thinking. Oh, well, you've only done that couple of years. How much do you actually know? And I think you're the exact example that how much do you know and what's your potential and what's your capacity to learn, to implement, or to drive change. It really isn't age related. It everything is in our resource as professionals and people to handle that. So what's your advice to people that are listening to that episode and are thinking, "Oh my God, I've always wanted that, but I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm stuck in my job. I cannot move forward. This isn't a career. I'm gonna forever be at the same level. What can they do?"
Well, for me, it has been a journey that changed over roles. Sometimes, whenever we hire or have someone new in that role as real time analyst or scheduler or planner, I make jokes like, I know what you're doing, so do not try to lie to me. So, my advice to them is to invest on their personal development. Like, do not wait until a manager or someone from leadership will give you the course or will recommend you a book or something. Like, try to research by your own. And sometimes you need to do the job without the title. And at some point, that title will be a reality. So again, fake it until you make it.
I love that. And I actually think this is often the journey. If you are in a company, most of the time you need to do the job before you're given the title. And I think it's a double-edged sword in which, okay, but if somebody comes externally, you'll be giving the title, you've been giving the promotion directly. So I feel like some companies might be abusing that, but that's not my experience. I have also been lucky in proving myself. And maybe this was my journey, people were handling that in a different way. But what I would say that has really helped me throughout my career is being proactive, even in my communication with my manager. So the first year of my career, I was very, you know, I'm sure that my boss will see what I'm doing and they're going to come to me and they're going to say, "You're doing amazing. You're going to be promoted directly." And that's rarely the case, to be honest. But when you sit down often enough with your manager and say, "Listen, I want to come from here to there. What can I do? How can I get there? Tell me what are the expectations." And you drive that conversations proactively. There are not many situations, unless it's strictly budget related, in which a manager will tell you, Nah, I just, no, don't do anything. Just sit there and wait for things to happen." So I really love your feedback on just read these books, try these things, and it will happen. You just have to believe in yourself.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned like being proactive with the communication. Like sometimes you can be an analyst, right?
Hmm.
And if you have a desire to learn some programming like Python or Java or something like that, like unfortunately, like your leader does not have like cannot read minds. So maybe like having that conversation in a one-on-one or something casual, like mentioning that you desire to learn something else or that you would like to become at some point a scheduler, that you are interested on that. That will, like plant a seed in your leadership team,
Hmm.
and then maybe they can take that and grow that seed, and take advantage of that, and you can grow with that as well. And also, um, if you are on a leadership position, do not be afraid to learn to teach others. Like allow others to learn. It's not that they are coming to steal your job. Is that sometimes they want to learn new things, and that will help you as a leader. That will take workload out of you, that could make a real time analyst your next planner, your next forecaster, right? If you allow them to learn. But if not, and you stuck without, oh, they are looking for my job, and you do not allow them to explore more, you will be exhausted as well because you cannot rely on anybody. You don't trust your team.
That's honestly speaks to me so much, and it goes straight because I had been in situations to observe that not only happening to me, but to observe it in teams when people are so protective of their job and their function that they're trying to remain the smartest one in the team, the only ones who retain a certain knowledge or skill, and literally trying to stupidify their people so they become irreplaceable. Well, news alert, nobody is irreplaceable. Like there isn't such a person. So I'm sorry to bring it to everyone. But second of all, you cannot grow and do anything else if there's no one to substitute you. So if you're looking at your own individual growth and career progression, please allow that to your team members as well. And honestly, that's the absolute first time when someone I have heard and spoken to is brave enough to bring that publicly. So I'm such a fan of you, Arlyne. I can't believe I'm doing the math and I can't believe that. Are you sure that you're in our range?
Yeah, for sure. And like it was a surprise, um when I was doing the role as coordinator, the COO of the company asked like, "Why she's not a manager? Is she ready?" And then my two mentors say like, "Yes, she's ready. Okay, so make her a manager."
There you go.
But if you ask me, like, I didn't feel that I was ready. I was doing the job without the title, but when the title becomes a reality, it was like, okay, now I'm a manager. What should I do?
But lovely. You took on the title. To be honest, you've already been reading this.
So I kept doing like the same I was doing in a certain way. I had to delegate a lot, and it's not easy. But the
Mm-hmm.
only way you can actually delegate is by trust. Like you need to trust that your people is smart, that they are capable of doing things, and not at the crazy lady like looking for the mail. Like, is that formula is okay? Is that requirement has been calculated correctly? Like, no, you need to allow them, and obviously they will make mistake.
That's
Personal, yeah, personal. When I make a mistake is like the end of the world. I don't like it. Like I'm being so hard on me with that. I try to not be like that with my team, which is like the opposite. But
mhm.
I try to stick to one of the phrases one of my mentors has said, like, if you are not working, you will not make mistake. If you are working, that's something that will happen. And that's as well like trying to empower people, like trying to empower them to do the job, to become the next managers, to become the next coordinators, and your team will grow. So when I started in WFM was very small. It was like six RTAs only, six
Mhm.
or five RTAs, and one coordinator. So today we're more than 30 people, different roles. We have the manager, we have the coordinator, we have the supervisors. Now we have a new team within WFM since last time we spoke, which is called timekeepers. So you can
Oh,
imagine this is expanding, this is growing, and this allow others to explore other opportunities. And that's why as well I reached out to you. I remember that I reached out to you and Dan and the SWPP as well,
mhm.
to give some like to have like a meeting. Like it was not too formal actually, but to have them like the opportunity to see that there is other WFM, that there this is actually a career, and
Abs-
and you can grow and become like you, like Dan. Like there is a society, like there is a community, there is support. And I found this type of support proactively, like by searching and that type of stuff, like attending to webinars. But maybe they're not curious, so I wanted to bring that perspective to them.
And I'm so happy you did that. And honestly, to wrap this conversation up, it was such a brilliant episode, and you gave me so much energy. And as you mentioned, those new voices that are able to motivate everyone and to spark that passion again. And I can't repeat enough how proud I am of you and how impressed I am of the leader you are, of the professional that you are. So my wish is just everyone to listen to you and to this episode, and please follow Arlene on LinkedIn because she's absolutely brilliant, and you need to follow her because she's gonna do stuff in that career or whatever she chooses. So thank you so much, Arlene, for being with me on this episode.
Thank you a lot for having me here, Irina. You know, I admire you a lot, and it's a surprise that our careers has like a lot of in common. So at some point, it's like, oh, I'm not alone. So this is amazing, and I was so excited for this, and I still am. So I think this type of emotion will keep with me for the rest of the week.
Well, so happy to hear that for me as well. Sending you tons of hugs and thank you for being here with me today.
The new heart.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, Irina Mateva, founder of Right WFM, where we believe that every business and its people are unique and deserve the right solution to their challenges. If you need support with workforce management, we're just a message away. Get in touch at Irina at rightwfm.com or info at rightwfm.com. If you like the content and would like to support the show, please subscribe to WFM Unfiltered on your favorite podcast platform, leave a review, and follow me on LinkedIn. You can also show some love to our great sponsors. For more information about them, check out the episode notes. This is your place for real WFM, so to suggest guests or topics, get in touch at Irina at rightwfm.com. See ya!